The green Trickster, a great saltwater game fish fly, good for just about any game fish that swims. Let's begin the fly with our thread at the hook point, and I'm using monofilament thread. It's really good for saltwater flies and its strength and its stretchability. First material to go on over the hook shank is a clump of rainbow flashaboo. Begin it with a couple of loose turns right at the hook point and move your bobbin slowly forward to get several wraps covering the entire shank of the hook. Return the bobbin to the hook point so that we can then add our next material. If the material is a little bit long, it should be about an inch beyond the bend of the hook, and I'll just snip it off at a 45-degree angle. The next material coming on is white super hair. This material will form the basic foundation of the entire fly, allowing the other materials to sit up over it in a good fashion to provide good tracking and balance to the fly. Again, using loose wraps, move forward to the hook eye and then back over itself, tightening the wraps as you go. This is important as we build up this fly. Now, the reason for the rainbow flashaboo should be obvious, that it's a good attractor, and in many cases this fly is riding up over the bottom, and game fish looking up, as they typically do, will get the flashing of the flashaboo, especially in the rainbow color, will catch their eye. So this is an important step to put in flashaboo. Now you can use other colors as long as you're providing a bit of flash. The next material we're going to tie in is the chartreuse medium-sized bead eyes, and this is going to be tied in up near the hook shank. Okay, take a few wraps in one direction to secure it, move it around a little bit, and then begin to figure eight wrap with your bobbin to completely fix the bead eye in position. Make sure that it stays good on the lateral. Take several more wraps, tightening as you go to firmly affix the bead eye in position. This is an important step, and the bead eye not only gives a target for the game fish for the head of the fly, but it also provides some nice stability for the fly to track properly in the water. As you see, I'm taking several wraps to get it good and tight, and then I'll check it with my fingers just to make sure that it's good and tight. You may want to add a drop of super glue here to hold it in place even better. So now return the thread back to the hook point. We're going to add the next of our materials to finish the fly. The first material we're going to bring in is this shrimp colored SF fibers. These are great synthetic combination fibers. This stuff just looks absolutely gorgeous in the water. It moves nicely, it's got plenty of glitter, and it builds up body without building up, and since it doesn't take up a lot of water, it doesn't add an appreciable amount of weight to the fly, so it's easy to cast. Loose wraps, come forward and then back over it. Use your thumb to push it down and smooth it out. And it's a good idea here to rotate the fly in your vise just to check both sides to make sure you're even on both sides. We're going to add another clump of SF fibers, and in this case it's going to be the olive green material to begin building the color contrast of the fly. This is the green Trickster, in fact. So now, again, the olive green SF fibers, same as the first material, but this is going to go in over the top, and we're going to be starting at the hook point again with several loose wraps to get it to hold down. And again, with your thumb, move it around, position it, get it just about where you want it, and then as you come back to the hook point, tighten up the wraps. Good to check it again to make sure you got it covered on both sides. The next material to add is 10 or 12 strands of good quality peacock herl. This material will tie in over the last wing material. Tie it in again at the hook point moving forward. The peacock herl provides some good contrast to the fly, and it will also resemble many bait fish in that the lines on the back of the fish. So tie that in. Secure it back and forth, take a few wraps. It's no problem building up good wraps here, because we want to build up some size here as we bring in our next material, which will be olive colored cross-cut bunny fur. Now the unique thing about this, you got to position it just right so that the nap of the fur is facing back, so that as we palmer the material forward, you get the flow of fur to work back. So tie it in again at the hook point, just above the hook point. Take several wraps to hold it. Clip off any excess material because you don't want to have a bulge there. And then just smooth it out and maybe even wet it a little bit to prevent any static. Okay, now move your bobbin forward to the bead eye and begin to palmer the forward with the several wraps of the bunny fur. Pulling it out, straightening it out, and overlapping edge to edge on each of on the hide as you move forward, making sure that you pluck out the material just so that it flows really back nicely. Move your final wrap up to the bead eye. Get it locked in there very nicely. Get your bobbin, tie it in. You want it to be snug up to the bead eyes. Take several good solid wraps and then snip it off in a good location, probably underneath. Smooth the hair out and then take several good wraps to lock it in. There's a lot of material here, but you can see how nicely the head builds up and flows back, and you got to see this stuff in the water to believe it. Finally, we're going to add just a bit of a red throat, and I like to use here is a bit of red ultra hair. You can use red hackle, red marabou, or a red yarn, anything that you like. I like this material because it has just a little bit more glitter and it's a little bit easier to work with in positioning it at the head of the fly. So smooth the hair back, wet it down a little bit, put the clump in just where you finished off the last wrap. Tie it in nicely, get it locked down, move back and forth figure eight style again to lock it in good position. You see how it stands up a little bit. It does flow in the water very nicely. And then I use a couple of overhand knots. Use a whip finish if you're comfortable using that. This works really good with monofilament since you've got a lot of stretch and it's easy to tighten down without breaking it. Clip it off. Now you want to finish this fly off with a bit of crazy glue or super glue or any head cement that you like. Try not to add too much like I just did, but put a drop on the top, put a drop on the bottom, and also don't fear, it's okay to put a drop or two on the bead eye itself. It'll help protect the fly a little bit. There's the completed fly, the green Trickster, flows nice in the water, and there it is close up on the head. Thank you.